Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be reviewing an article. We're going to be reviewing a Vox article, and I'll be rating it based on how good I think it is, based on how relevant I think it is, and based on how accurate I think it is. Now, it's by Vox, so we're going to see how it goes. They already get points for having this beautiful, beautiful man over here, frustrated at the equations, clearly in distress. Nice blue polo, nice jacket, nice fist, some hands and some fingers in the background. Very nice start, very strong start. 7 bad science and health ideas that should die with 2018. See a little caption here. Immigrants aren't a disease risk. Sure. Neanderthals weren't necessarily savages. Interesting. And Joule isn't cool. So we got a little preview at what we're going to be jumping into. And hopefully, we are surprised by them. And hopefully we can give this a good rating. Myth number 1. Fighting climate change will destroy the economy. You know what? That was a myth. That was a myth in 2018. In 2020, we're more focused on agreeing that climate change is a big problem, and we got to solve it regardless. So you know what? I'll give this myth, I'll give their solving of this myth a solid 8 out of 10. So far, they're very strong. Juuling is cool. Interesting myth. Clearly has not disappeared, even though this was written in 2018. But however, I would like to note something, and it's that this is a science and health idea article. So, whether or not this is actually about science and health, questionable. I would argue it's more of a society thing. But because it does have Juuling, I'll give that 5 out of 10. That's fine. I'll let it slide. Myth 3. Neanderthals were more savage than us. Interesting. Well, here's the thing. Who says this? Literally, who says this? I've never heard anyone say this in my entire life. Who thinks about Neanderthals on their daily basis? Who? How is this a myth? Who is this, like some kind of popular teenage thing to say nowadays? Oh, the Neanderthals, haha, they were more savage than us. I've literally never heard anyone say this sentence before. That Neanderthals were more savage than us. Well, let's see what their justification is. When scientists first recognized Neanderthals as a species slightly different from our own, the species was demonized. By who? Why? Why would... curse those Neanderthals. How dare they even exist? Interesting. Maybe I just didn't know about this. But, long story short, I would argue that Neanderthals were savage. We were savage. It seems to me that they try to say things that try to justify that they weren't savage. But let's face it, we were all savage. This is when all the bad stuff still existed. A lot of bad stuff still existed. I'm giving this myth a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. Bad quality. Horrible ideas. Myth 4. The marshmallow test is a key test of future success and well-being. Huh? Why? Who says this? For those of you who don't know, the marshmallow test is a test where they give a child a marshmallow, and then they tell them if you wait 15 minutes without eating that marshmallow, they give you a second marshmallow. And there are those who eat it, and there are those who don't eat it, and they get a second marshmallow. I've never heard anyone say that the marshmallow test is a key test of future success and well-being. That is so absolutely ridiculous. You know what? Maybe it was a 2018 thing. Maybe people used to say that in 2018. So I'll give this one a slight pass. 5 out of 10. Moving on. Myth 5. Immigrants pose a disease risk to the U.S. How the tables have turned. Myth 6. Mere exposure to other points of view reduces partisanship. This is actually a very interesting point. Let's see what their experiment was. Recently, researchers at Duke, NYU, and Princeton ran an experiment where they paid a large sample of Democrat and Republican Twitter. Oh. Well, there's your mistake. Myth 7. The Stanford Prison Experiment shows how environments can bring out evil in people. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. And because it's interesting, we're going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. Alright, we've thoroughly explored this article. There's nothing more to be said. Overall, it was pretty good. The highlight of this would be this man right here. His frustration can really relate to all of us. Therefore, I'm giving this article a solid 8 out of 10. Good night.